Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Yesha if you're new here, and today we'll be talking about going back to in-person conferences and how to make the most of it and what you can do to really start with networking and education and whatever it is that you want to achieve during the conference. So if this is interesting to you, please keep watching. So the first thing you want to do when you're thinking about going to an in-person conference is I say in person because I have to remind myself it's not virtual anymore, is you want to figure out what is your primary goal. Is your primary goal to network? Is it to get education? Is it a combination of both? Is it to learn more about diversity and inclusion in radiology? What is the topic that you want to learn the most about, or networking, for example? So once you have an idea of what it is you want to achieve, you can really build your schedule around that. So that would be my first tip, is to figure out what it is you want to get out of the conference. The next thing you want to do is assess the daily programming and see what it is you want to actually attend. So that could be related to the presenter, and it doesn't just have to be a presenter in a specific subspecialty. It could be because of their research. It could be because of the institution that they're from, if you have some connection to it or you want to attend that institution for something. It could be related to I don't know what else, but obviously the educational topic, and it could just be about someone told you to go see that and that person, so that's another reason to go. Those are all just kind of general reasons to see presenters in person. You know exactly where they're going to be, and the RSNA programming at least is huge. You're going to see so many names on that programming list, and so if there is anyone specific you want to meet, that's a good way to just kind of know where they're going to be at what time and go to their presentation. If there is someone specific you want to meet at a presentation or at their presentation, make sure that you're being very attentive, that you even almost take notes during the presentation, because it'll be really helpful when you go up to them if you have specific things that you enjoyed about the presentation, things like that. You just want to make sure that you put on a good impression, because you are trying to network and maybe have a long-term relationship out of it. So that's one way to meet people, is just going to their presentations, taking notes, and following up with them afterwards. And yes, you can totally go up to the presenters after their presentation is done. That's one way to do it. Or you can follow up with them via email if maybe going up to them isn't really your jam, although I highly suggest you practice going up to people randomly. That is a big part of the networking at in-person conferences. But you can always write down their contact information. A lot of people will have their social media or will have an email address. And so if you do that, make sure you do it in a timely manner, maybe in the next day or two. And just tell them what you found interesting and what you're kind of hoping to achieve, whether it's getting involved in some sort of research or you found something really valuable, like an educational tip. Even just reaching out just because. I think that is kind of undervalued. Just say that I enjoyed your presentation. That's also just a nice thing to do. So think about doing that, and I would say try to attend 3 or 4 presentations. I think that's a good starting point for presentation number each day. Just that way you don't feel too super tired at the end. You feel still excited and reinvigorated about each one. You just don't want to wear yourself out. And of course, if you are more experienced in the conferencing category, you know what your limits are. But if you're a beginner, a novice, or a medical student, maybe you just want to go to a few. Just go to a couple, see which ones are the most interesting to you that day. And as a reminder, if it is RSNA sized, which is a huge, huge conference, there will be multiple concurrent presentations, so you want to make sure that the ones that you choose are at different times, and also that you have enough time to go back and forth between some of the buildings, because they are not that close together, and it can take 15 minutes sometimes, even if you're walking fast, to get from one side to the other. So just as a reminder, it's a huge conference. Not all conferences are built that way. Some of them only have one session going on at a time. But that's just my advice, is just build out your daily schedule so you kind of have an idea of what it is you want to attend, and make sure you include networking events in that schedule, and we'll get into that in a second. Since I just mentioned it, let's talk about networking events. There are always things going on during the day and also after hours that you will want to attend. That's where most of the networking really happens. It's when you can just go up to people, talk to them. Everyone is kind of more in a casual mindset. People are just trying to talk, and a lot of us are just trying to catch up with old friends. So that's a great thing to attend if networking is one of your primary goals. I know at RSNA there is a resident and fellow, what's the word? Networking event, I think. It's just a resident and fellow networking event. I don't even know what to call it. It's just at the venue they have blocked off an hour. I believe there's going to be a bar, and you just go there and talk to people. I mean, it's pretty simple. There's usually hors d'oeuvres, and so you come hungry, it's always good. And then the RSNA Resident Fellow Committee is also planning a wellness event at one of the bars in Chicago, so you can attend that as well. Again, easy ways to meet people in a more comfortable environment. During the day, people might seem really busy, although I would still highly suggest that if you want to talk to someone, you just go up to them during the day. If you see someone that you know, there's really no harm in doing that. If they're busy, they'll let you know, but most of the time, people are pretty chill, and everyone is a lot nicer than maybe you think, so I would really suggest going up to people, but if that's not really your jam, then try to attend these networking events, because everyone is just going around and talking to people at those. And if you're anything like me and one of my co-residents during my first year, we really pushed each other to go up to other people and talk to them. And I would say, like, make a challenge for yourself. Say that you want to go up to like 3 random people each day and just strike up a conversation. I think it's always important to practice networking, even if there is no like long-term goal. Just go up to people. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know like whose interests will align with yours. So it is important to just meet as many people as possible. And sometimes it means just going up to random people. Even if you don't know them, it seems like this group of people is having an interesting conversation, just join in. There's no harm in it. No one is going to be like, who's that guy? Seriously, it's not like that at all. Everyone is very friendly. And so I highly suggest just going up to people, just joining conversations, just seeing what it's all about, because that's really how you build friends. And that's how I met so many people in the community. So that is another little tidbit of advice, and hopefully that helps. If you're really not sure what to go to, I would say take to social media. Follow the conference hashtag for RSNA this year. It's hashtag RSNA21. And just see what people are doing. See what everyone is up to. See what people have found interesting, and go to those events. We also usually share the social events that are going on after hours on social media, so that's another way to kind of keep up with what's happening. And so social media, you'll see next weekend. It's a huge part of the in-person conference. Like, it's just huge. I don't even know how to explain it. I think you just have to wait and see if you're not already like familiar with what it's like to be on social media at the same time. I mean, there's just so much going on, and using social media to kind of help sift through everything that's happening can really help you navigate like what you want to see and where you want to go. So go to social media, see what other people are talking about, and contribute to the tweets that are going on. Add something interesting each day. That's another easy way to meet people, and people will retweet you, and maybe you want to meet someone who retweeted you, like there are so many things that are positive in social media. I think you can easily utilize it during an in-person conference if it's not something that you utilized in the past. And I mean, just continuing on the social media thing, a lot of people will, instead of putting their email address in their presentation, will put their Twitter handle. And so if you haven't been on Twitter or anything since like you're not already on, this could be a really good time to join. It's an easy way to follow up with people. It's an easy way to kind of say that I enjoyed your presentation, and without having to write a full email, you can just like private message them or take a picture. Well, I shouldn't say that you can take a picture, but some people will allow you to take a picture of their presentation. And so you can take a picture of it and put it on social media, something you found very interesting. And I'm sure that lots of like-minded people will also find it very interesting and be thankful to you for sharing that little tidbit of advice, because I will say, or that information, because I will say that when you go to RSNA or something, you're going to miss 90% of what's happening, because everything is happening concurrently, and lots of things are starting early or late or at the same time as things that you are already seeing. And so there is no way for everyone to see it all. And so anything that you can share on social media is usually very appreciated, because lots of people want to see what's happening, especially those that can't attend in person. So social media is a great way to also network and also meet people in a little bit less anxiety-provoking situation. I also highly encourage you to go to the keynote speaker event, and then also RSNA Fast 5. I think those are, anytime that something's happening in like the main theater, I would say that's like a valuable use of your time to go and see it. That's usually where you'll kind of get an understanding about, first of all, who are the leaders in RSNA and who is in the leadership positions. Put a face to the name, for example, but also like understanding kind of like the thought process behind everything that you're seeing, and seeing why RSNA or why the conference is structured around whatever topic it is. I think it's usually a very interesting talk, and I would say one of the most highly attended talks of the entire conference, no matter where you go. The keynote is usually the main like attraction that day, so I would highly suggest you go to that. But in addition, I think you should also go to the exhibition halls where all the industry sponsors and everyone are, like Siemens, for example, at RSNA will have a huge setup. Recruiters will be there, people if you're looking for a job, or even things like ergonomic, like desk setups will, like people from those types of companies will be there. It's just interesting to see like all the stuff that's going on, and you could honestly spend an hour just walking around the exhibit hall, and I would say you should totally do that. Just take some time and go through the exhibit hall and just walk through, mosey around, strike up conversations with random people. They're literally standing there to talk to you, so you might as well do it. And it's just a fun way to see what's kind of going on in radiology outside of like the actual practice of radiology, but what else all goes into it, what technology is up and coming, and who produces it, and how to use some of that technology, what AI stuff exists, things like that. So definitely visit the exhibition halls, and then also visit the poster sessions. I think that's a really nice, it's usually quieter if you just need to get away from all the people for a minute. It's nice to kind of go through and see what type of research people are doing. You can see different types of research that is coming out of like various institutions, because usually everyone will have an institutional affiliation, so you can kind of sift through that way too. And then within the poster presentation hall, or I don't even know what it's called, I'm sorry, I don't remember, I just know exactly where it is, but I don't remember what anything is called anymore. There is a resident lounge, and I think that trainees can all meet in there. It's kind of like a little lounge for us. There's usually food at lunchtime, free food, and it's also an easy just home base. Lots of other residents and med students will probably be in there. We host some of our events in there, so that's another place that you can go if you don't really know what else you want to do. And lots of us will be in and out of there like every day. So easy way to kind of just tag along with people if you otherwise don't know where to go. Other than that, just have a good time. It's meant to be fun. It's not meant to be stressful. It is really tiring sometimes if you are going to lots of events. You want to make sure that you're present during the day, because that's obviously the only way you're going to meet people, but take care of yourself. Most of us are going to go out each night, and sometimes the nights get kind of late. So it just depends what you're looking for in the meeting. If that's something that you're looking for, then make sure you follow along on social media to see what we're all doing. And wear comfortable shoes. It's a huge exhibit hall, or a huge venue, I should say, conference venue. It's massive. It's like bigger than I could have ever imagined, and so just be prepared. Dress professionally, dress with like a blazer and stuff. Most people will be in suits, and just be excited to have a good time and learn about radiology. I think RSNA is one of my favorite conferences to go to, because it's so massive, and there's just so much to learn. It's definitely the best educational conference I've ever been to, although I haven't been to tons of conferences, but definitely the largest one. So I hope this was a helpful video. Sorry, it was kind of rambly, but I am really excited. I have nothing more to say. So with that, I will see you all in the next video, and you know where to reach me. If you do have any more questions, just reach out and I will try to get back to you. Anyways, I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.